has not become motions, because motions requires a different set of rules. So can I just get direction on that, please?
Please give direction, Honorable Brett. Back to you. Please give direction. What do you suggest?
Honorable Chair, I'm not the chairperson of this specific committee. It's a question of you've made one ruling, and now we are on a totally new set of rulings by yourself. So are we still with the first ruling that said you received all the proposals and then we will vote at the end of the report? Or have you suspended that ruling and now you receive motions, but nobody has framed it as motions? It was only the chair that received it as motions, but it's still not motions. It's proposals. And this proposal, these 4 proposals, should be handled precisely like all the other proposals thus far during this meeting. There's no reason why these 4 proposals should be handled differently to the other proposals earlier on in this meeting.
Okay, we'll proceed and we'll take a decision on the 4 proposals. Yeah. I got there are 4 proposals on the table. We'll take a decision. Don't worry, Honorable Beck. Where were we? Mongwin. We're at 6. We're at 6.28. We're done with VAT. Can we go to 631? PIT.
Chair.
Saku Jifek, Honorable Mauta.
On 6.31, when I was reading our proposal, we did request an amendment there to amend the decision by NT not to adjust, by saying the PIT must be adjusted in line with inflation.
The statement here reads that committee knows that the decision to not adjust PIT for inflation. The committee is concerned about the impact on lower households and recommend that assesses the equity. What does it mean in simple terms? The language.
So the minister, in his tabling of the fiscal framework and revenue proposals, he did not adjust the PIT. So we are saying let's amend the minister's proposal and amend and say it must be adjusted. PIT, personal income tax, must be adjusted in line with inflation.
We increase the PIT mode. Mode. Let me get it clear. So that
no,
I don't
reduce
have
it,
to put
Chair. I
words
agree.
in your mouth.
Right now, it's higher than inflation. So we're saying adjust it, reduce it to be in line with the inflation. If inflation is, I mean, we're paying a lot of money on personal income tax. That's what we're saying. And according to the fiscal framework, they are leaving it as is. But we're saying with the cost of living, it's too high. We can't afford, our people can't afford. It's actually putting a strain on workers. So reduce it, this PIT, to be in line with inflation.
Honorable Bisley, Honorable Malifu.
So, Chair, just to confirm that this particular point is covered in my recommendation. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
No, Chair, I think it's important for us to know the point. Because we're going to vote again. So we can't say I made a proposal to amend this. So he says it's covered. What is covered? What is here or what we are proposing?
No, we'll deal with your your proposal. He has got his own proposal. Honorable, it was Mliv. Yeah.
Wanted to help and say that in English it means that if the personal income tax is not adjusted and yet you receive a salary increase or inflation-related salary increase, it pushes you into a higher tax bracket. That is the bracket creep or fiscal creep, as they call it. It pushes you as an individual into a higher bracket than where you were. So that people are not pushed into higher brackets, you have to adjust the tax brackets, personal income tax brackets, along with inflation. That's what Honorable Mofti is saying. That's my understanding in English.
What does the law say now? The tax law in regard to this?
I think it's a matter of tax proposals. Why the Treasury did not adjust the personal income tax brackets and are pushing people into higher brackets by stealth.
Not going to go anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
Just get clarity from Treasury as to what does this statement mean, and not for them to influence us in one way or another. Then we'll take decisions as a committee. DG, what does this statement, can you simplify it for all of us?
Thank you, Chair. I heard the honourable members say that personal income tax should be adjusted for inflation. I think the way to capture the point she's trying to make is to say that the personal income tax brackets should be adjusted for inflation. And if we insert the word brackets in her proposal, then I think it captures the essence of what she's requesting. Chair, thank you.
Comrade Brian.
That's correct, Chair. That's what we're proposing. Hence, we're saying, here, I get what here it says, we know the decision to not adjust. The National Treasury to not adjust. So we're saying, the National Treasury must adjust. So we make an amendment here to adjust the personal income tax bracket. That's what we are amending, Chair.
Otherwise, people get pushed into higher brackets by stealth, by mistake.
Okay. Madud.
Chair, it simply means in simple terms, your salary can increase, but if it increases you from the bracket that you had in another bracket, with that increase, you may get a lower net income than you were previously getting. I think that's the most simple phrasing of.
Makubel, wena wakuta la parliament tuma now. Okay. No, thanks, Maduna. I'm learning. I don't want to claim that I understand the tax law to that level. Hence, I wanted us to be clear so that even when we record the right thing. We have clarity now, and even what the DG has clarified. Jifekra Saku 632. Okay. 633 SARS. We've spoken about this. 634 SARS, okay. 635 is a comment that is coming from a stakeholder, Ilam. 6 636. Oh, Honorable Brett.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. On 6.36, the following, the committee observes that the time allocated for processing the fiscal framework under the Money Bills Act is insufficient for meaningful engagement with stakeholders and recommends that Parliament review these timelines to allow for more inclusive public participation. My problem arises, Honourable Chair, with the word Parliament. It is not Parliament that's going to review timelines. It must come from this committee, both the standings as well as the select committee on finances, to make a recommendation for the review and come up with recommendations to Parliament. But it cannot be left to Parliament to come up with a review. It should emanate from this committee, and it is this committee's function to make recommendations regarding the amendment of money bills and the Money Bills Amendment Acts, and also other relevant legislation that governs timelines. So the recommendation should leave out the word Parliament and or substitute it with the word the committee.
Okay. Is the committee not a substructure of Parliament? And Parliament has got powers to enforce decisions. Honourable Brett.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. I appreciate your engagement with me in debate. As it stands, it is still incorrect. We cannot recommend that Parliament review the timelines that we created. It is for this, the Finance Committees to come up with a recommendation. If we wish Parliament, both houses of Parliament, to amend the law, you know the procedure. It's not Parliament that comes up with the recommendations themselves. It starts in a committee. And that's why I say we should substitute the word Parliament with
Selected standing committees.
this committee, or the finance committees at least. And then the committees can deliberate and then go to, back to both houses of Parliament.
Yeah, I wanted to understand that because this is the report of the committee as for now, but these reports will be submitted or be tabled with the NA and in the NCOP respectively. Will that, at that stage, not be the responsibility of Parliament to do this? Because it must be adopted by the NA and the NCOP. So if we just leave it to a level of committee and go and report as committee will do the following, why must we go to NA with that? Report? Honourable Mlife?
The procedure for the amendment of money bills says that this committee the procedure for the amendment of money bills says this committee must either accept or make amendments to the fiscal framework before it even goes to the NA. So if we have not accepted it and have not made amendments, then we don't have anything to take to the NA. And it can't go to the NA. It must pass through this committee and it must accept it or make amendments. And the way I see it, we have made so many amendments since the beginning of this meeting, including the latest one where there are 4 proposals on the issue of VAT to amend just the VAT. So all of that must be incorporated into the fiscal framework and then on the basis of that, we can take a report to Parliament.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So we don't have anything at the moment, in short.
Okay. Let's move to 637. Oh, you are raising an honorable
No, thanks, Chair. I think it must also be noted that those amendments, like the initial one on the 0.5, there were 4 proposals. So we need also to have an indication, because we cannot incorporate all the amendments as a document. That has to be understood.
And then Honorable Mlife, and we proceed.
No, Chair. I don't agree with Honorable Ndlovu. So, as indicated earlier, we accept or amend. And then once we come to the amendment, you table the amendments you want to see in the fiscal framework. And then we can debate them and agree on them, and then have a final document. But you can't say you can accept all. What if all of them make sense, and we as the committee agree to all of them? It's also allowed. So we look at what is being amended, and then we can debate on it, and then we vote on it, and then we move until the report is. We have a final report that now we say this is our final amended report, which must then be sent to the minister. And the minister will then have, that's when the 2 days kicks in, as per the Act. So that's where we are now, amending the fiscal framework and revenue proposal. Thank you, Chair.
No, thanks, Chair. As a newly co-opted member of this committee, of this joint, as part of this joint standing committee, no, I accept. No, Chair, look, Chair, I think we would sleep here if we would want to debate everything. We have 4 motions before us. I think when we are done, sorry, proposals. When we are done, Chair, no, thanks, Chair, because I will end up answering Honorable, because we are not going to be up by him. We gave him an opportunity to speak, and we never disturbed him. So he must not undermine us. We are not his friends. We are not playing here. Thanks, Chair. Chair, we have 4 proposals. Let's finish the report. We can just vote on the proposals, and then we move. Each one ventilated what are they proposing. We accepted. There were 4 proposals. Let's finish the report when we are done with the report, so that we don't waste time.